Hi, my name is Jorden Richardson, and I'm the chef and owner of Savory Events.
Hi, Matthew Swinnerton from Events Santa Cruz. This week is episode number 5. We interview Jorden Richardson from Savory Events. She's an amazing chef, an amazing entrepreneur, and just completely enjoyed this interview. She made me super hungry, so I'm going to get something to eat. Enjoy the interview. Hey, Matthew from Event Santa Cruz, and today we have, we're doing episode number 5, and we have Jorden Richardson from Savory Events. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Hope your eyes aren't burning with the sun.
I'll survive. It's okay.
Okay, if you need to get glasses, you can. So, I know you, I forgot how we met, but we've talked about your events. You're from Savory Events.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you just first of all, what is Savory Events?
So, Savory Events is my catering company. We're local. We do luxury catering and interactive events. So, I've done weddings, private dinner parties, birthdays, corporate events, a whole range of different stuff.
Okay. So, what was it? What was it that got you excited about food? I mean, was it from an early age? You were like 3 years old, and you saw your mom making breakfast, or what?
No, actually, the opposite. So I was raised in a family that really didn't cook.
Okay.
I ate a lot of top ramen and Hot Pockets and white bread with butter on it, and I just never really got exposed to anything. And I remember going over to a friend's house for the first time, and I think I had goat cheese, and I was like, oh my God,
real food.
What have I been missing out on my entire life? And then it kind of just stuff started snapping from there, and it was always at a friend's house, watching their parents cook, or then, once I was in high school and I had money, I'd be out eating sushi and Thai food.
Oh, really?
Oh,
even
yeah.
in high school?
Oh, yeah. No, I spent a lot of money on food in high school.
So you really liked food?
I just would, because I had been missing out on it for so long.
It's like a new experience. Like somebody that can't see, or the first time they can see now.
And ever since then, still, I'm just so stoked when I get to eat it in a new place, I find new ingredients. We live in the most, prevalent place for vegetables in the entire planet. Mm-hmm. It's amazing here. And
you're originally from here, right?
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah. I lived in Monterey for a while and came back because I couldn't stay away.
So how did that love of food, how did that translate to your professional career? Did you did it just happen that you started getting a job in the food industry, or you're no, this is what I want to work in this?
So originally, I started my very first job when I was 13 was at Garden Deli, which is over by Dominican. I think tons of people have eaten there.
At 13?
Yeah, 13.
Okay.
I mean, work permit. I just worked there on the weekends and summer. And then I kept, working. I worked at Gale's. I worked at Tony and Alba's, Emily's, The Farm. I worked at all these places in Santa Cruz. And I was just doing it as a job and because I enjoyed it, but I didn't think that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you did so many of those places.
Yeah, and I had just been in the industry and I felt comfortable in the kitchen. So then one day I actually just woke up and I was like, I want to go to culinary school. That, I really want to do that. And I hadn't thought of it before, and so I went out and did that.
So where did you go to school?
I went to the Culinary Center in Monterey, which was down on Cannery Row, and it's not there anymore. And from there, I ended up working with most of the restaurants in Monterey. I ended up working for several years at the Marriott downtown, and then I was supervising the banquet department at Spanish Bay in Pebble Beach.
Oh, wow.
And from there, that's when I decided to leave and start my own company back here in Santa Cruz.
So in Monterey, Carmel, down in that area, it seems like it's there's a big food culture there.
Oh, huge.
Yeah,
food and wine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do.
Around the world, you think of that place as the food and wine. Yeah. What do you think about Santa Cruz for a food place? Is it has it always been a food area, or do you think now we're kind of we're seeing this new renaissance of different food people?
I think that Santa Cruz I think it always had the potential. Mm-hmm. I always think we had the great produce and the small producers, and I don't think it was highlighted until recently. I mean, the last 5-10 years, now we've got great restaurants. We've got these great little food startups all over the place. So Santa Cruz is getting there. It's becoming bigger. And that's why I decided to come back here to start my business instead of staying in Monterey, because I think Santa Cruz has a ton of potential.
And I think it's even just in the last, maybe it's from the outsider's viewpoint, just in the last year or two, it seems even more so, because we do have those like young startups like you guys that are coming out there and doing this like interesting food. I mean, like let's go back to Savory Events. Your food is not, I think you mentioned before, it's not boring. What is what kind of food do you even do?
If you had to describe my food some way, it would probably be like new American.
Okay.
Is the best way I could describe it. I'm all about, it's an overused word now, but the farm to table.
Okay.
Everything comes from here, and I like taking those great fresh ingredients and elevating them, making them fine dining.
Okay.
It's you might not recognize that potato when it gets on your plate because it might not look like that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing, and that's the cool part about the chemistry of cooking, is that everything changes. Like if you roast something, you braise it, you saute it, it does different things. And to me, it's fascinating. And there's no way I could ever learn how to do all of it. Like I'm just going to continue to learn.
So you have your basis for learning when you went to the Culinary Institute, but do you feel like even like after that was like your foundation in a way? So do you feel like now it's like you've been learning for the last 10 years or so? Yeah.
Yeah, and it that gave me a really great relationship with all the chefs in Monterey. We did a ton of internship hours all over the place, so I got these really great relationships down there. And that was even how I ended up working at the Marriott in Pebble Beach, was just all through networking.
Yeah.
And so you got a basis, you learn how to braise, right? In culinary school, they teach you like one way how to do it. But then you take it and you utilize it in real life at those other places that you're working at. Because everyone does it a little bit different. Everyone's going to put a different thing in their short ribs. And you have to find out what works best for you. So I can cut an onion probably 10 different ways. But there's the way that I like doing it that works for me.
So isn't that exciting for like you now with your own business? You get to do it the way you want to do it.
It's great, actually. I have loved all the places that I worked, but I've always had a hard time being an employee because I'm super headstrong and I like doing things a certain way. And especially working for corporate was really difficult sometimes because, it's more of a numbers game than a creative game. I mean, every business has to be a numbers game in order for you to be successful, but there was things I wanted to do and things I wanted to try that I couldn't get across to the other people. And now I just get to do it. I get to experiment. If I want to go out and buy some random basket at the farmer's market and come home and be like, okay, we're just going to make something today. I get to do that. And then maybe that translates into something amazing that I'm going to serve my clients next week.
So it's like research and development.
Oh yeah. That's my favorite part, actually.
It's eating. No. I mean it's kind of nice because it's especially with food people, they're usually passionate about what they do, and then you're making it a business. So it's nice because it's kind of like your creative outlet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like your art in a way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a group, and I think they're on Instagram, called The Art of Plating.
Okay.
And they're this amazing site, and that kind of boils down to what we all strive for. I mean, if it doesn't look good, people aren't going to eat it, right?
Yeah.
So it could taste amazing, but if it looks like crap on the plate, then it doesn't matter. And so you can make beautiful art on plates, and it's about your canvas, right? So you might be using a wooden board or some awesome blue ceramics. I get a lot of my stuff from a friend that sells ceramics at the farmer's market. I pull his stuff, I use it. It's a great canvas for what I'm doing.
Nice. So talk about what you're doing here. You got to make a living. You got to. So what are like the main things you do to Savory Events? Like, is it like small parties? Is it corporate events? What do you mainly do?
For this year, at least, for 2016, it's mostly private dinners and weddings.
Okay.
So lots of private dinners, and that could be for a birthday, could be for a anniversary celebration. So I've been doing recently, they're usually between 8 and 12 people, and it's a plated meal. So I come into their home and I bring 1-2 servers with me, depending on the number of people, and we do anywhere from a 4 to 8 course plated meal in your home. Everything is, the size of the portions depends on how many courses there are, so you can actually finish your food. All the menus are seasonal; they're changing, so they're based on what's available right now. I keep in contact with all the local farms, so I know like the weather we've been having recently has really affected the produce that's coming out because everything got waterlogged, which is great. We're happy for the water. And then weddings. Weddings is a big one this year. I've got a ton of weddings booked for April and June and September are the biggest months right now. And those are anywhere from 50 to 200 people.
Oh, wow.
They're big.
And so it's not just you cooking, but you get a team together.
Yeah, I have a whole list of on-call people that I use for cooks, servers, dishwashers, bartenders, and what I do is send out an email with all the information and say who's available to come work. And it's great because then a lot of these are people that have other full-time jobs, but they're really passionate about food and they like eating and they like seeing it, and they all get to get involved in the process.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. And then I have different people all the time.
Nice. Okay, last question. So you've been a native of Santa Cruz ever since day one. Mm-hmm. Where do you like to eat if you're not cooking for yourself? Like, and if you guys like, okay, I gotta go. I just want to go with some friends and we're out to eat. Where do you go?
There's a
many
couple.
places probably, but
yeah. 515
okay.
Kitchen and Cocktails. They have an awesome happy hour menu, and you can get like their entire appetizer menu for like under $30. It's great. I just discovered Laylee, which is downtown. Their food is outstanding.
Really
I love it. And I just ate at, for the first time, it was a Korean barbecue place. I can't remember the name of it. Right next to the Surfrider Cafe downtown.
Oh yeah, okay.
It was
That's new.
It was so good. I mean, they did like this toasted barley and burdock root tea that came with the meal that was outstanding. I can't wait to go back.
Awesome. Okay, Brandon, I think that's the end of episode number 5, but let's make sure that we put her on the book so we have dinner with her sometime. Okay, again, that was episode number 5. Thank you so much for interviewing. You're a toy inspiration, and I hope 2016 is great for you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. I think that's pretty good.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's...
Ooh, yeah, it's better than I thought, actually.
So let's do